Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Monday Market Review. Lots to talk about today. Market has been showing some signs of life, but also, we can look at it from both points of view, and I think today's market review is going to be really important. You can check the links to joining Wolf in the description below, where I host my daily streams, trades, ideas, and etc. So let's get into it. Lots to talk about. As I said, going to be looking at Bitcoin, a few alts that have, setups for either direction, long and short. Definitely in a tricky spot, and looking at, a little drop lower this week, which we can talk about now, and the area in which I'm looking at. So, back end of last week, if we go to just standard PA's chart, back end we saw on Friday, nice move up on BTC, and now trading back above this 41,700 region. So we can't really shy away from the fact that Bitcoin has deviated back above the Q4 value area high, and back inside the prior monthly value, right? So from a value and range perspective, it makes sense for price to seek value higher from here, personally. It makes sense that we should at least go and test the, depending how we hold towards this previous monthly val and this developing quarterly value area low, it makes sense for us to at least get a pop higher, right? So if we look at the overlapping value areas right here, below us we have the Q4 value area high, the prior weekly value area high, and the previous month val. So this whole region is a multiple stacked region with our Q4 value area high only being tested for over Saturday. So personally want to see a drop lower this week to see a true test while stocks are open and barriers back selling on our heads, most likely. When we look at the range, so I basically drawn a volume profile for the whole range we have been in almost 2 months now. I think it's around 56 days. I looked at it earlier. 56 days we've been ranging for. Auction market theory wise, we failed to deviate and accept outside of our value, just like we did here. Likely on acceptance back inside, we trade back towards the opposing extreme. As of right now, rejecting off the point of control. So for me, it makes sense after rejecting from this point of control that we are going to test this value area low region around this 41,200. Now, this is the point in which we must hold for upside. And in the event we do hold for upside, I'm looking for continuation towards this 44k, right? Important to understand that we are back to ranging here. We are back to bracketing. There is no trigger for us to say that we are going to hold 41.2 and we're going to trade back towards 51k. Likely we continue to bracket, or worst case scenario for bulls and best case scenario for your long-term spot is you get to buy lower if we fail to hold this 41,200 region. As soon as we fail to hold this 41,200 region, I think what we're looking at is a failed break back inside our prior balance. And likely once on an acceptance below here, you could look for a drop back towards sub 38k, towards 37k at least, if not a lot lower. So this week we're looking at a drop into 41,200. As I said, multiple stacked balances here. And I think if we do hold this region and looking for triggers towards this region, I'm looking for a long towards the developing quarterly, monthly and yearly VWAP, and also the prior monthly value area high, since we are trading back in our prior monthly value. And also we have the range value area low here. Of course, deviate back below here, like I said, we'd probably drop at least back towards that prior weekly value area low. I think that is it for BTC. Really, we are looking at a must hold region now towards that 41,200 level, especially on the Q4 value high. Drop and then reclaim, and likely that's my trigger. Trade back towards sort of that 44k region. A failed reclaim would likely lead to a drop back towards 38k and below. Moving on to ETH, same case, back trading within our prior range, and we'll continue to range until proven otherwise. Personally, I think a nice long would be on a drop towards 2120, fill in that wick from early January, and that could be a really nice long, potentially towards sort of 2500, 24.55 before seeing a true sell-off. If that even gives failure to hold towards this region, you're looking at a drop towards sub 1900. Right. ETH, honestly, not a massive fan of this right now. There's better things to trade, and just keeping an eye on BTC is far easier for your mental. That brings me on to altcoins, and a few altcoins that have different setups, and I really want to show you how you can define what you want to be longing or not at the moment, especially on a drop on BTC. Right, a drop towards this 41,200, then you want to be looking at the altcoins which have flipped out of their bearish structure. Some of the ones that have not flipped their bearish structure is the likes of Wild. Clearly we can see here, previous range low area, Wild rejecting from that region. Likely, if we do fail to reclaim here, you're probably going to look at a drop further towards sub $2, right? Until that area is reclaimed, I wouldn't even bother touching this for a long side for upside. But in the event it does, you have this nice deviation and you look for that long higher. Same case for OP. 30-day range, lost the range low. If we do reclaim here, fine, looks like a great long. But for now, deviating, wouldn't be interested in touching this until we reclaim that 3.1 region, apologies. You could look for a break back towards 3.5 and above, since you would have a nice deviation. Until then, look to buy lower or wait for the flip. It could be a very nice short, both of these, if BTC fails to hold 41,200 and you get that trigger for lower. Likely this is going to drop, I could see OP dropping towards 2.4 and Wild dropping towards, as I said, sub $2. If you get the trigger on BTC for downside, this could probably drop pretty fast back towards that $2, 1.8 region. Likes of SU is very strong at the moment, but big level here to get above. Until we flip here, I don't think I would expect upside. If anything, I would potentially expect it to continue to range here until we get that strong break above. Any drop towards 1.2, I'm eyeing nice longs for higher. But for now, I wouldn't be longing into this region. Solana, another alt that actually, flipped its bearish structure, reclaimed that sort of range low area. In the deviation, bounce, sort of trading higher. 104 is a massive place for Solana to flip. So for now, the range is clear as day. Range high, range low. Looking for longs towards, 88 if we can get that. I'm not even sure if we'll even get that region. Hinge, another one. Clearly strong since it reclaimed this and deviated the prior range low area. On a drop on BTC, this is definitely something I would have interest in longing. Sort of flagging here, potentially before I move towards that $43 region again. As I said, looking for triggers towards this 41,200 region for longs. Inge would be a top priority for me, along with the likes of Su. Sol also looks nice. One final alt which has got bearish structure, right? Performed 20% off the lows, but still putting in a bearish retest. And this is sort of what I'm trying to point out here, is the idea that a lot of alts are still in bearish price action. And if BTC fails to bounce at 41,200, I think it will lead to alts legging a lot lower and likely taking out the wick from last week. Of course, a lot of the time things don't go down only. We see relief bounces, we see short covering move. FET bounced 20%, OP bounced 20%, right? Wild bounced 16%, but still these structures are bearish until proven otherwise. It's important to notice and zoom out and understand, you know, a lot of alts have lost key levels here, and until we do reclaim that area, I'd be waiting for much lower prices. Of course, if Barry starts selling on our heads again this week, it's going to be something to watch out for. A quick summary of what I said. Longs towards 41,200. Good trigger would be a sweep below 41.7 on a reclaim of 41.7. Look for a bounce towards 44 plus, or mostly just 44 to 45 if I have to say a price point to target. If we do lose 41.7 and start rejecting from there, in my opinion, we target 38k this week and going into February. That pretty much sums it up for my Monday market review. If you do like my content, please let me know, and I will be uploading more in the weeks to come. Thank you very much.